Hey everybody, I'm Scott Stanton, the Tombstone Tourist. I'm back again, and today we're in Montclair, New Jersey on this beautiful Mother's Day spring, and we're at Rosedale Cemetery. Rosedale Cemetery is a beautiful historic cemetery. Forget all about what you know about New Jersey and make fun of. This place is gorgeous and we love the town of Montclair. Now today we're at the Gray Family Memorial here, and this is the Gray, this is the parents. This is the sister over here, and this is today's subject, Mr. Henry Judd Gray, or better known as Judd Gray. Now, Judd Gray was an ordinary, everyday corset salesman in 1925. He had a wife and a daughter and led a very average life. Well, that's until he met Ruth Snyder. And his life changed in 1925 when he started an affair with her. Now, Ruth was married to an Albert Snyder, an older gentleman. They both work and met at Motor Boating Magazine. That's not what you think. It's about boating, people. Get your minds out of the gutter. Now, here's a picture of Ruth. And here's a picture of Judd. Yeah, she's a real looker, isn't she? In very short order, Ruth was very bored with Al Snyder. She was younger and exciting, wanted to go out dancing, and he was older and more boring. Let's just face it, that's basically what he was known for. So she said, I want you to kill my husband. And he's like, yeah, I don't really, if you love me and you want to continue this affair and then marry me, then you will kill my husband. And she took out a life insurance policy, forged his name, double indemnity if it was an accidental death. So they tried to kill poor Al 7 times and failed every time. And on the 8th try, they were successful. So one night, Ruth and Al went out dancing. She got him really drunk and dragged his butt back to the home, and he went right to bed and fell asleep. Judd was in the house, and he went over and whacked him in the head. And he's so ineffective, all it did was wake up Al. And Judd screams, Mumsy, come quick. And Ruth came in. She took a weight off the sash of a window. That's how they used to balance them. They took the weight off, and then she bashed his head in multiple times, stuffed chloroform rags up his nose, and then strangled him with a wire, and he was dead as a doornail. And they even tried to make it look like a burglary. They called the police, and next thing you know, within about 2 hours, the police had solved the crime. These two people were the most ineffectual, dumb, worst murderers ever. And in 2 hours, they figured it out. Now you have to understand, in 1925, this was a huge deal in the press. This made the news every day. It was like the OJ of its time. And it had sex, it had violence, it had betrayal, and it had 2 of the most pathetic murderers. What more could you ask? And they were in the paper every day, but you could tell it was 1925 because the police arrested them within the day, okay? They had all the evidence they needed. In 2 months, they went to trial. Not years, 2 months. And within, I think it was less than a year, in December, they were both executed at Sing Sing prison, like that. This was not 10, 20, 30 years dragged out. This was instant. All within a year, it was all over. So, why are we here at the grave of Judd here? Why are we? This is just such seems like a blasé murder. Well, here's how it made history. Here is a picture of Ruth being executed. Now, if that picture looks familiar, that's because we visited Ruth Snyder, now Ruth Brown, that's what she's buried under. We visited her grave over in the cemetery over in the Bronx, and we told the whole story there. That was an infamous picture where, when she was in the electric chair, right before she got zapped, the cameraman, one of the witnesses, gently lifted up his pant leg He had an old brownie strapped to it and clicked, and that was a gruesome yet historic photo. Now, what you don't know is just 7 minutes later, Judd was executed in that same chair. Not the next day or hours to clean up or whatever. And here's a picture of the electric chair. But it's just astounding that within 7 minutes they were both gone and he was buried here. Now, prior to his death, Judd wrote a series of letters to be opened by his daughter, each one on her birthday up to age 21. She went on to lead kind of a normal life. She was a secretary for a couple different companies and died up, I think it might have been Connecticut or something like that. She kind of moved away, never made the news, changed her name, all that great stuff. And the house that the murder happened is still there today on Long Island, and it looks almost like the same. It hasn't been restored or changed or added on. It still looks exactly the same. I wonder if the current residents know about it. Well, anyway, to get the full story about Judd Gray and the murder, which is later known as Double Indemnity, the famous film noir from the 1940s, come to my website, thetombstonetourist.com. I have videos, interviews, and I even have a copy of his book cover because he wrote a book while he was in prison. So, and you can buy it on Amazon for $200. I am Scott Stanton. I hope you enjoyed this little story today. Have a great day, and I'll see you again.